the Irish guy and Dele Alli. More like Dele Tubby. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm trying not to get angry at Dele in this video. But honestly, usually I don't care when footballers just chuck their talent up a wall. I mean, in the case of Danny drink water, I mean, fine. Go out there and lick a puddle of whiskey off the floor. I mean, instead of finding another football club, then just go ahead. You have my permission to relocate to a farm in the Philippines and agree to marry a horse. I mean, I don't really care. But in the case of Dele Alli, Jose Mourinho tried to help you. And right now, you're on the verge of a move to Besiktas, a team who just finished 6th in the Turkish league. I mean, the man is only 26 years of age. To me, I think Dele Alli should change position on the pitch. Look, clearly he doesn't have the hunger or appetite to play midfield anymore. Honestly, he's a strange case. I mean, I would understand if this fella's weight had ballooned. I mean, I'd understand then if he spent the last 3 years eating hamburgers for tea. I might get it if he was burping up fried eggs and pancakes on the pitch. I might understand if the paparazzi had shots of him eating donuts in his car. That might give us some sort of clue as to why he can now barely stumble about the park. But he's ripped. I'm sure his diet is still immaculate. I mean, has anybody ever caught him with a sausage roll in his hand? I mean, he's probably the type of guy who, when he's invited to barbecues, he's probably the boring one in the corner eating a vegan yogurt with a spoon and maybe trying to break into the bunny rabbit's cage to steal his food. I'm gonna say something which makes me sound insane, but right. Ali should become a centre forward. I mean, why not? He's 6'1". He's good in the air, whether that's headers or bicycle kicks. And lads, he is sharp in and around the 6-yard area. I think he could morph into what Dimitar Berbatov was at Fulham. I mean, no running, just all technique. Or maybe Michael Owen after 2006. You know, when his legs had gone, but he was still able to hunt out goals inside the confines of the penalty box. Honestly, Dele, just get Owen's number, give him a ring, and maybe ask for some advice on how to live in the penalty box. Actually, that might be a bad idea because knowing Dele like we do, he'll probably just use the phone call as an excuse to ask Michael's permission if he can bring his daughter to the zoo. But am I crazy? Am I insane to tip Ali to become a striker, even though he hasn't actually scored a single league goal from open play in nearly 3 years? I think as a lone striker, he'd do the business, which is just yet another reason why signing for Besiktas is a horrible move to make. We all know he's just going to be stuffed in midfield, playing behind a big lump like Wout Weghorst up front, someone who probably still stinks of Burnley. I mean, Ali is a guy who played under the likes of Pochettino and later Mourinho and Conte. I mean, if he can take any nuggets of inspiration from the latter two, then what chance in a cat's vomit is there that he's going to be inspired by Valérien Ismaël, who, let's not forget, a guy who earlier this year lost his job to Steve Bruce? I mean, is that where Dele's at now? Just being told to listen to failures from West Brom? How sobering is this? Ali was a Tottenham superstar. Georgia's Kevin Nkudu was a Spurs benchwarming flop. I mean, if Tottenham was a school playground, then Ali would have been one of the popular, cocky, cool kids. While Nkudu would have been just that bookworm nerd who picks his nose during class and who gets wedgied about 4 times a day. But now, they are apparent equals. It's embarrassing, Dele. By the way, lads, you know what I'm gonna say. Trying to hit 150,000 subscribers. I'm sniffing my way in that direction. If you're new here, slap that big red button. You absolute legends. I'm sorry, but the Super League is a retirement league. So moving there at such a young age, no, it'd be like me deciding to go and live in a nursing home. So I just sit in an armchair all day, knitting jumpers and waiting to die. I mean, what would I have in common with 93-year-old Irene, who spends half the day chewing hard candy, imagining what Frank Sinatra looks like in the nude, whilst comparing Meghan Markle to the devil? I mean, would I feel the peer pressure to fit in to the point where I just wind up pooing on the floor? Would I now also have to dribble down my front and just throw muesli at the wall? Listen, before I launch into this, I just want to say that Ali has been treated unfairly in Everton. I mean, this was supposed to be a fresh start for him, right? But I'm sorry, for a club who have to be so careful with their finances, I'm guessing in the canteen they're not even allowed to make toast. Well, don't forget that there is a loophole that Everton must pay Tottenham £10 million if Ali plays 20 games for the club. 10 million! That's no joke. I mean, there's so many add-ons in this contract that if they do persist with Dele, then there's a possibility that they could be forced to fork out 40 million quid for the sake of Dele Alli. So obviously, Frank Lampard has been told not to trust him. Basically, only play him if you're sure he's going to be worth 40 mil, which is a horrible situation to be in. Ali has only ever been given 1 star for Everton, and that was on the final day of last season against Arsenal, where the game didn't matter because they'd already survived. I mean, that's it. He's played 369 minutes in an Everton shirt. That is just 6 hours of football, so he hasn't really been given a chance. Honestly, it's like someone giving you a second-hand pair of shoes for free, so long as you don't wear them 20 times. Or you're gonna have to give your friend money. Well, clearly you're only gonna wear them 19 times then, aren't you? But I don't feel sorry for him because Jose Mourinho, as always, was right.
Time flies. I think one day you will regret if you don't reach what you can reach. I think you will regret. You should demand more from you. Not me demanding more from you. Not me. Nobody. You. I think you should demand more from you.
Did he listen? No. Listen, Ali, I don't care if this was an uncomfortable situation for you. I mean, this guy was just sitting in his chair, staring at Jose and thinking,
oh, what an Okimomo!
This fella just wanted to get out of the room as quickly as possible. So, I don't know, go and play Candy Crush on his phone. But Ali, you are playing under a manager right now, Super Frankie Lampard, who, when he was your age, Jose Mourinho cornered him in a shower when Lampard was completely naked. And Jose looked him in the eye and told him, you are the best player in the world. And then just walked out of the shower. I mean, that was a vulnerable chat. So I mean, Lampard called that talk beautiful and it spurred him on to be even better. I mean, yeah, try and corner Ali in the shower and he'll probably phone his mum. Actually, I don't think he has a relationship with her. I don't know, either way he burst into tears. But Besiktas, I mean, what is he gonna do in Turkey? What, buy some new teeth?
If he goes to Turkey, he'll become the biggest player to ever play there because the league is not really good standard and the teams are also very small.
Biggest player to ever play in Turkey? Oh, okay, so I guess that Dele Alli is a bigger name than Didier Drogba, Samuel Eto'o, Robin van Persie, Roberto Carlos, Radamel Falcao, Guti, Robinho. Even Harry Kewell was a bigger worldwide name than Dele. But Turkey is a division which usually attracts washed-up Brazilians. But why do you think they go there, Dele? Because they like to party. I mean, Google the words Dele Alli and party and you get nearly 1 million search results. I mean, do you really want to see this guy stumbling out of Marmaris nightclubs at 4:30 AM on the eve of a Europa League match? Ali does not belong in Turkey. I'm sorry, but don't do it. Besiktas is utterly the wrong club to revive your career. Ali needs a place where he can get his head down and concentrate on nothing but football. He's a man who needs to cancel out the limelight. Isn't that the whole reason he left London in the first place? This guy needs to be able to eat out at a restaurant without some balding middle-aged man from the Daily Mail cornering him in the toilets with a phone. And I mean, Turkey is a place where they idolise their signings from abroad. Darius Vassell was just some journeyman misfit, but because he played for England, the Ankaraku fans rushed to the airport with flowers and reacted as if he was Michael Jordan himself. I mean, Dele Alli is someone whose ego probably gets a dopamine rush whenever a 12-year-old asks him for a selfie. So again, being full-on worshipped by a set of fans, that is not what he needs. And if he fails in Turkey, then what next? Is Dele gonna go to the Delhi Premier League? In India? I mean, Daniel Sturridge went to Turkey and failed. And don't forget, his next stop was Australia. Give it 2 years. And if he's not careful, then a 28-year-old Ali will be signing for Perth Glory. I mean, how sad is that? Trust me, I feel like Ireland at the Eurovision, going with Turkey is not a good look. That was a terrible joke. But my point is that moving to Turkey to revive your career, it's high risk, low reward. If you're not careful, you could very easily get sucked into the whirlpool and kill your career. It's a bit like KSI getting knocked out by swarms. But I mean, this guy who at 26 should be being written about in newspapers for achieving things in sport. Maybe winning Premier League titles, challenging for the Champions League, gearing up for the World Cup in Qatar. Instead,
Love Island fans are convinced new rival Reece Ford looks just like Everton player Dele Alli, resulting in the 10 million star trending on Twitter. Dele Alli soaks up the sun with Cindy Kimberly and a yacht in Capri. Footballer Dele Alli gets bizarre massage using masseuse's feet. Dele Alli enjoys welcome break from Everton woes as he stops for lunch in Milan wearing a Hawaiian shirt and chains.
This is journalism? Spying on a man when he's eating his lunch? I mean, with this level of press intrusion on his life, I almost don't blame Ali for going off the rails. I mean, I bet you, if he dared to use the pub's bathroom, those reporters would probably have tried to hack into the septic tank.
Extra! Get a free chunk of Dele Alli's poo with every copy of The Sun!
I mean, crazy about as soon as the media got wind of the fact that Ali had kissed Guardiola's daughter, sports editors across the country reacted to this news as if the Queen had just given birth. I mean, you'd swear this story was on par with a cat flying to the moon.
Dele Alli was snubbed 3 times by model Lottie Moss when he tried to direct message her. We can reveal.
What is this? An actual journalist taking time out of his day to write this? As if he's some sort of modern day whistleblower? I mean, who cares? Who honestly cares if Dele Alli was knocked back by the sister of Kate Moss? I mean, personally, I'd be more interested in reading about the pros and cons of pooing in a wheelbarrow. I mean, what is this? I mean, go on, Robbie Knox, I've given you a free idea. But this is the moment where Dele Alli's career died a death. Ever since he did this with his eye, clearly that was the key to destroying his potential. I mean, it's almost like as soon as he did this, it just triggered some frustrated witch living in a cave in Barbados to infect him with a curse. I mean, the previous season, for Tottenham, 14 goals and 17 assists. But I mean, after the World Cup, 7 goals, 8 assists. Yeah, I know he was part of a team which reached the Champions League final, but if anything, that was the worst thing that could have happened to him, because the fact he was still able to end the season starting in the biggest game in club football, that sort of validated his laziness. And lockdown buried Ali's career, because since shops closed in March 2020 and we were all told to spend months on the couch, he has scored 1 Premier League goal, a penalty away at Wolves, a year ago. I mean, these days, admitting to having Ali in your fancy league team, it's a bit like admitting that you got chickenpox on your sack. I mean, it's a bit like confiding in your mates that you got tickets to see Avril Lavigne, or that you actually fancy the old woman off Titanic. In that time frame, someone who once had a £150 million price tag, someone who publicly rued the fact he didn't score a hat-trick against Real Madrid in the Champions League, and it was recently linked with a loan switch to replace Gareth Bale at the Bernabeu. Well, yeah, since it's become illegal to cough on old ladies on the bus, he has officially scored less Premier League goals for open play than Alison Becker, and as many goals for open play as the other Alison Becker. You know, the actress of Parks and Rec. I mean, who saw this coming? 4 years ago, this man was in the same bracket of footballer as James Rodriguez and Philip Coutinho. He was. Well, their career slumps still had them both being babysat by Bayern Munich for a year. I mean, if you told me in 2018 that Ali's career would soon start to fail, then yeah, fine. I could have imagined him struggling for form at Bayern too. Not Besiktas. Dele Alli is a man who's had Newcastle United written all over his forehead for years. I mean, let's not forget, they almost completed a £4 million transfer for him from MK Dons in January 2015, the same week they got rid of Hanan Ben Arfa forever. I can promise you, a move to Tyneside would have destroyed his career on the spot. I mean, you really think this hungry goal-scoring number 10 would have flourished under either the clueless Steve McLaren or then the rigid Rafa Benitez? A man who'd probably sooner pull a kitten out of his nose than risk upsetting his team's formation and shape. And then Eddie Howe tried to hijack Everton's move for him 8 months ago. But I'm guessing now, Newcastle United are relieved they didn't unveil this guy in a Toon shirt. I mean, he'd probably just spent the last few months flirting with barmaids in Lavellos and spending 6 a.m. Friday morning being insulted by Sunderland fans beside a big market burger van. Again, we don't want this guy to have any more distractions, right? Well then, don't send him to a nightlife city where for the last 10 years there's been an MTV camera crew filming those vain meatheads off Geordie Shore. I'm sorry, but the last thing Dele Alli needs is to be invited on nights out with Scotty T. I mean, lad, Patrick Bamford turned down the chance to appear on Love Island. I'm pretty sure if they approached Ali, he'd instantly say yes. I mean, don't forget, Jamie O'Hara took a 6-month break from his football career to go on Celebrity Big Brother. Ali, he's cut from the same cloth. To think, only last year, this guy was on the verge of a move to PSG. An 18-month loan deal was so close to being agreed. He was about to be reunited with Mauricio Pochettino and would be playing in the same team as Neymar, Kylian Mbappe, and eventually Lionel Messi. I mean, what? But I mean, it fell through. Firstly, because Tottenham were concerned about Giovanni Lo Celso picking up an injury, and Tottenham wanted to sign Christian Eriksen as a replacement for Ali, but Inter Milan wouldn't let him go. And also, Levy didn't agree to give PSG an option to buy, which they wanted. I mean, Ali was furious. The chance to go and live in Paris and earn mega wages for one of the most ambitious clubs on earth. I mean, for a scruffy kid from Milton Keynes to wind up being mates with Neymar sounds incredible, right? But Dele, rags, okay, it's not that big a deal. I mean, Jesse Lingard somehow managed to weasel his way into hanging out with Neymar this summer, and he's just some Nottingham Forest misfit with the footballing clout of a brick. I mean, I'm pretty sure during this photo, Ronaldinho probably thought that this Jay Ling's character was just a nightclub DJ. I mean, True Geordie and Adam McCullough just spent a Wednesday night playing poker with Neymar. I mean, he's not exactly a reclusive mouse, but still. I mean, let's be real though, Ali would have failed at PSG. I mean, if Gini Wijnaldum couldn't cut it at PSG, what chance did Ali have? But I must say, I applaud Pep Guardiola. I mean, back in 2017, this is a man who had to shout down the Man City board. This is somewhere where the club were sniffing around so many banana skins. A bit like a monkey with ADHD at the zoo. I mean, in the case of signing a right back, there was 3 on the shopping list. One was Dani Alves, a great footballer, yes, but I mean, he was 6 years off 40. He was older than Pablo Zabaleta, the guy they were trying to replace. Another option was a £50 million move for Hector Bellerin. Yeah, ask Arsenal fans about him, and they'll tell you that watching him try to defend, a bit like watching Russell Brand scrub his genitals in the bath. No thanks. And so Pep signed Kyle Walker instead. They were also worryingly monitoring Ryan Bertrand and Danny Rose as potential left backs. Sorry, Pep, had someone scraped glue over your slice of morning toast? Similarly, it's the same summer they very nearly wasted £50 million on a wet beef burger and Alexis Sanchez, someone who's now rotting away at Marseille, and the club had 2 targets for midfield. Either they spend £90 million on Dele Alli, who was the board's favourite choice, or they just signed Bernardo Silva from Monaco instead. Thankfully, they made the right choice. I mean, imagine Ali at the Etihad. I mean, surely he couldn't be that stupid to then go and kiss the daughter of his boss. Honestly, no. Instead, just go and make out with a dog behind some wheelie bins. I mean, just go French kiss your grandmother in a shed. Go and snog the postman. Just not the daughter of Pep. But admittedly, it wasn't the perfect City window. There were mistakes. I mean, they chose not to sign Virgil van Dijk from Southampton. And oh yeah, pay £50 million for Ben Mendy. Yeah. Ali needs a fresh start, yes. Quit Everton, because that club clearly have no faith in you and are just trying to weasel out of paying Daniel Levy some money. Normally, I would have said a switch to Glasgow would have been a quick fix for a dying career, but ask Joey Barton and Aaron Ramsey if they found it easy in the Scottish leagues. I'm not sure Ali would even get in the Rangers team, and how embarrassing would that be? I think move down to the Championship and start again with Blackburn Rovers. I mean, if that club wind up selling Ben Brereton to Nice, then yeah, Ali, move to Ewood Park and replace Sam Gallagher up front. Take tips from John Del Thomason, one of the world's most expert finishers in the penalty box, and go and chase the Championship Golden Boot. For a team who so far look like they're heading to the Premier League, Ali needs to have a team who trust him. And I know it's worrying because Blackburn Rovers was the last pit stop on David Bentley's career before he finally gave up and retired at 29. But I just think this move, a low-key, no-frills transfer to a team where he can get back to basics and grind in peace, away from the spotlight of the press, I think this could be his final chance. But just a lazy switch to Besiktas. Don't do it, Dele! Anyway, for what you think, let me know in the comment section below. What should Dele Alli do? Where should he go? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe. As always, I'll talk to you in a while.